Hi everyone! Welcome to our first coldworking class. Coldworking is the process of cutting, grinding, polishing, or engraving glass when it is cold and wet. Through the lessons, you will learn how to use different types of machines for coldworking. First thing we're gonna make is a glass coaster. For today's lesson, we will use a whistle, a drill, and a belt sander in the coldworking room. To make a coaster, you will need a ruler, glass cutter, cutting oil, running plier, spanners, and then about 5/8 inch core drill bit. You can sign them out from the office near hot shop. Don't forget to sign your name on the sign-up sheet. Make sure to return them when you're done and sign the sheets again. You need to buy your own black Sharpie. It will be a handy tool for other projects too. Wearing proper PPE is very important. For cutting, you need to wear safety glasses. For grinding and drilling, follow the dress code for coldworking. Remove any loose clothes and jewelry. Long hair should be pulled back. Your leg and the toes should be completely covered. In the coldworking room, you must wear a respirator, safety glasses, and ear protection. Wearing apron and waterproof boots is a good idea, since coldworking is quite wet process. Aprons and ear protections are available in the coldworking room. Safety glasses and a respirator were offered for individuals. Make sure to bring yours to the coldworking room. Talk to our technologist if you haven't received them yet. You can check the symbols on the door of each studio to find out the proper PPE. Let's start the project by cutting 2 of 4x4 inch squares. For basic cutting technique, make sure you watch the video Glass Cutting from Bullseye Glass first. First, clean the table surface with a small broom. Remove any debris on the surface. The surface should be flat for the best result. Measure the size and mark the line with a Sharpie. In the Bullseye video, you watched how to cut 3mm thick fusing glass. Our glass is 6mm thick float glass. The basic principle of cutting is the same, but you will find that thicker glass is a bit tougher to cut. When you cut your pieces out from the large sheets of glass, cutting the middle is much easier than near the edge. Keep that in mind and plan it ahead when you need to make multiple cuts. This is cutting oil. Most of our glass cutter has a container to fill oil, but I prefer dipping methods to ensure my blade is always lubricated for scoring. Now put the ruler on the line and move it 2mm away. The adjustment is critical if you need a precise cut. It is because the cutting blade is nested in the 2mm thick metal casing. You should apply good amount of pressure evenly from the beginning to the end. Let's listen to the sound. And then the right amount of pressure should create this kind of sound. Pay attention to the sound while you're practicing. You should see that your score is covered by oil all the way down. After scoring, Use a running plier to break the score. For the glass less than 6 mm thickness, the regular running plier works fine. For the glass more than 6 mm, you need a heavy-duty running plier. They both has a line on one side of the jaw. This should be the top jaw. From the side, you will see that the jaws are curved. Remember that you should see the frowny face, not the smiley face. Our running plier has a set screw to adjust the gap between two jars. To prevent too much pressure onto the glass, adjust the set screw to make the gap just slightly smaller than 6 mm. Match the line on your score. Gently grab the plier. Add more pressure gradually. You will see the score break open and run all the way to the end. The pressure is a subtle thing. Too much pressure can cause a bad cut. Let me explain with the paper. Let's say I want to tear the paper with hands. I would fold it in half, make a nice and sharp crease, and then rip a tiny bit to open a crease, and then apply even pressure until the end. I should do it slowly, otherwise there's a more chance that it runs off the course. Same principle for glass too. Gentle grab, add more pressure gradually. Soon you will learn what is the right amount of pressure you should apply. Shallow score, lack of oil, or too much pressure can cause a bad cut. If your score is not good, flip the piece and make a new score on the backside. Tapping is also a good way of opening difficult scores. You will learn more about it when we cover curve and circle cutting. Edge of the table, glass cutter, or pencil can be used as a fulcrum when you don't have a running plier. Narrow area is usually harder to cut with a glass cutter. A running plier makes it much easier. If you find it difficult to trim small areas, consider other methods like cutting with a wet saw in the coldworking room or grinding with a mini lab wheel in the engraving room. Once you're done cutting 2 pieces of 4x4-inch squares, clean up the table. There must be tiny glass pieces on the surface. Never swap the surface with your hand. Use a broom and a dustpan. Sharp and small pieces should be dumped in the bucket. Reusable pieces should be stored in the shelf. Now let's move to the coldworking room. Again, for coldworking, make sure you wear proper attire, footwear, and PPE. This is our wet saw. The diamond blade can cut through not only glass, stone, marble, and porcelain. There is a water valve on the right. Make sure that the valve is on, so water comes out while you're operating the machine. Every machine in coldworking room needs water to avoid too much friction. The stress caused by friction will result to cracks and chips. Turn off the machine and clean the platform first. Put your piece flat on the platform and do a rehearsal without turning on the machine. For a clean cut, your piece needs to sit tight on the platform. Put your left thumbs against the edge of the platform to secure your piece. Now it is time to turn on the machine. The first and the last moment is important. Start slowly and end slowly. Never rush with any motorized machine. To achieve a certain angle, you can use a wooden block as a jig. Do a rehearsal. Have a firm hold. Stay focused. Do not force it too hard. Try not to angle or reposition your piece in the middle of the process. It has to be straight and steady action. Once you're done, pick up any big chunks in the tray and clean the platform. Let's make a hole now. This is our glass drill. For the coaster, you will need a 5/8 inch core drill bit. You can sign it out from the office. Make sure to bring 2 spanners too. Our drill bit has a thread that can fit to the adapter. To mount a bit, grab the adapter with one hand and then turn the drill bit to the right. Just hand tight it. Open the water valve, adjust it to make a small stream. You don't need a big splash. Put some wooden blocks to raise the platform. Make sure it is clean and flat. Put your piece firmly onto the platform and again, do a rehearsal first. Turn the hand wheel slowly to lower the drill bit until it reaches the piece. Once you get familiar with the action, step on the foot pedal. Lower the drill very slowly. The bit should land on your piece very gently. Just like a vessel cutting, never rush, especially at the first and the last moment. Step on the foot pedal to turn off the drill. The piece should stay wet all the time during the drilling process. If you see white dry powders or hear any screeching noises, stop drilling and add more water. You have to make sure the core's out after 1 or 2 drillings. Sometimes multiple cores can be stuck in the drill bit. The cores can be used as a spacer for the lamination project later, so keep them if they're cut nicely. Now close the valve, turn off the switch. Unscrew the drill bit. Unlike the mounting, you will find it hard to unscrew it by hand. Grab the adapter and the drill bit with 2 spanners. Turn the drill bit to the left to loosen it. Keep turning with one hand and then put other hands under the bit to catch. This way you can avoid dropping the bit. Make sure to dry it, put it back to the box, and then return it to the office. Remove debris, tidy up the work table, and then return the spanners as well. The last one is a belt sander. We will use it to grind down the sharp edges. There are different types of belts on the wall behind the belt sanders. Just like common sandpapers, the black belts follow the same numbering. Lower number means rougher, higher number means finer. However, they usually run out by time. Old 80 belts can work like new 100 belts. So don't rely too much on the numbers, rather touch and feel the surface and judge by the texture of the belt. The belt under polish are tri-zoc belt from 3M. There are even finer belts. For today's lesson, we will stick to two black belts, 80 and 220, a rough one and a middle range one. One step higher or lower is fine, like 100 and then 220. Just to start with a small number and step to the bigger number among black belts. So 80 grit first. To mount it, open the side cover and slide the belt around the upper roller, the roller platen, and the lower roller. Close the cover and push the tension handle towards the wall until it clings tight. Turn on the switch. The belt should sit on the center of the roller platen. If it is off center, turn the alignment knob to adjust it. Open the water belt by turning counterclockwise. The belt should be wet all the time. Now it is ready for grinding. To grind something straight, I would use the spot near the roller platen. Make sure to hold on to your piece tight. Do not push the belt too hard. First, flatten the edge by holding the piece perpendicular from the belt. Gently move it left to right for even grinding. Then, angle the piece to round the edge. The belt moves from top to bottom. When your piece slips, it will fall down to the ground. So, you should hold your piece slightly up against the movement. If you drop the piece by accident, stop the machine first. Never reach to the piece while the machine is running. Flat grinding, angle grinding. Do the same to all edges. Last, round all corners. You should be more gentle with the corners. Do not push the piece too hard. After rounding, gently touch the corners to check the sharpness. Once you're done with the 80 grit, turn off the switch and release the tension handle. Open the side cover and then take the belt out. Make sure to return the belt under the right label. Now pick the 220 grit belts for fine grinding. Push the tension handle towards the wall until it clings tight. Open the water valve if it was closed. Turn on the machine and adjust the belt with the alignment knob on the top right. Make sure water comes out. Repeat the same grinding procedures. You would notice the sound change. This is more gentle grinding. You will not see much of a shape changing this time, but you have to make sure to grind all the surfaces that you ground with 80. Once you're done working, again, loosen the belt, hang it on the wall. Mop the floor if you see water puddle around the belt center. By the end of the work, you should have 2 pieces of a 4x4-inch glass with smooth and rounded edges. The coaster 1 is for practicing drilling and sewing. Make it have at least 1 hole and then 1 cut from the wet sew. The coaster 2 is for sandblasting and dremeling lesson. Please leave it blank for now. Are you ready for the hands-on? I hope you are excited about our first project. Make sure that you operate all the machines with either TA, instructor, or technologist for the first time use. This is a safety procedure to ensure that you fully understand the instruction. After that, you're allowed to work all alone. Never hesitate to ask questions or ask for help if you're not fully comfortable working with the machines. Make sure to clean up all your work area. Return any tools you sign out from the office. Thanks for watching. See you next time.